Hello and welcome back to the League One Live. We are back, 12 more dazzling League One fixtures to go through. We had hammerings, we had shocks, we had goals, 40 of them, in fact, across 12 games across Sky Bet League One. The international break is over. It's full steam ahead now for the next 4 months. No international breaks are going to stop us. The FA Cup will stop us, but for some, anyway. To go through this weekend of brilliant Sky Bet League One football. And I want to say the best weekend of Sky Bet League One football today, this season. We are joined by our mate, Jake, from Channel 72.
Oh, mate, do you know what? Hello, Ben, by the way. I went on, because we played Barnsley.
Don't you?
Yeah, because we went on obviously we played Barnsley on Saturday, and I went on Red all over, and we did a first recording. Andy said, "Oh, it's Jake from the Stacey West podcast," and I went, Andy, I'm not part of that anymore, man. That's a bit awkward, but no, I'm good. I'm good, mate. I'm very good. Had a good weekend. Enjoyed watching Lincoln yesterday. Got to meet our friend Taylor, which was nice. But yeah. Very good. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And let us know if you can see and hear us all right. And there's over 70 of you in the chat already. So thank you for joining us nice and early. Get liking and subscribing. We're close to 12,200 subscribers now. Up the town. A brilliant result for Cheltenham, which we will come to later on. Hello, Paul. Hello, Richard. Hello, Lucas, Kai, Hugh. See you Tuesday. If you Bolton, we must be top of the league. Cobblers. Title charge starting soon. Hello, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me, mate. I hope you are well. Never liked Bolton, but after this week, I see them humble. Exeter, I now find them all right. Devon will always be green. Up the pool. Probably shouldn't have said that's going to get clipped. Good evening, Nappers. Oh, God. Worried about Oxford at the moment with the new manager. You've had one game. Calm down. It's all right. Dylan, a bit reactionary. Hello, Sue, my favourite lady as well. Hello
to your mother.
Hello, mother. Hello, Jacob. League One is dead. Up the baggies. Oh, God. White's Army. Blackpool. Yes, they are full steam ahead, aren't they? Well done. We'll come to them soon. Jake, good weekend, mate. Good weekend. Good draw. 4 goals.
Yeah, it was, and we'll go into it later in a bit of detail, Ben, but it was, yeah. Barnsley are a good side, despite a lot of their fans saying they were in a false position. For us to draw 2-2, we were in control for a large part of the game. Probably should have won the game as well, but no, it was good. Had a nice peach cider at the ground on Saturday. I had a nice cheeseburger. Paid about 50 quid for it.
What's happening? Can't get any burgers around football grounds at the minute. Like, it's only Lincoln and Barnsley seem to do one.
I know. Like, and I'm just in the middle of purchasing a new bed, so it's all adult times and all going in the Todd's household. But no, mate, I'm all good. It was a good weekend, and then today I've been.
Shall we get on with it?
Bolton
okay.
I was going to say what I did today, but
7. You are? So you froze then, mate?
No, don't worry about it, mate. I'm fine.
You're back. I'm back. Good for us, yeah. Bolton Wanderers 7, Exeter 0. Exeter have been on a slide for a while, but 7-0. Gary Neville, obviously, we talked on Tilt before, said about, United at Liverpool, you can lose 2, you can lose 3, you can potentially lose 4, maybe 5 on the odd, 1 in 100 occasion. To lose 7 is gone ridiculous. And the way they give up, and it's not good. When you're Exeter, you've got to scrap. You've got to fight for everything. If you want to say in League One, that's what they did last year at key times. And unfortunately, they didn't. There were so many errors for goals. You've now lost 8 of the last 9. They've got a 9th point in there against, I wonder who it was. I think it was Lincoln. And in there as well. In that 9 games, they've conceded 25 goals, Jake. Conceded 4 in the first 10. We're very good defensively. We're top of the league after 8 games. With Port Vale. They've both gone on a slide and both have lost 7-0 this season. Go on Exeter first because I want to come to Bolton. I think Bolton deserve their own little section, don't you?
Yes, I do. Exeter, alarmingly worrying, I would suggest, from especially the data output as well. They're not having half as many box entries. They're not putting in as many crosses now that Demi Mitchell did his ACL a couple of weeks ago. That they're not getting the ball in forward areas enough, and I think you're starting to see that now. They have a real problem scoring goals. Sam Nombe is someone that they sold right at the end of the window for a significant fee, but they didn't really bring anyone in to replace him. Admiral Musquay, Ben, is someone that well, hasn't really. It's not the flavour of the month at the moment, and they're just poor defensively as well. It doesn't really go well, and like you say, what's that? Is that 10 defeats and 11, Ben? That sort of run is territory for sacking your manager. And I know Exeter brought the statement out midweek and said, look, we are going to stick behind them because we trust Gary Caldwell, and that's all well and good. But how close to the end of the season are Exeter going to go, well, we still have an opportunity of staying up here like they do at the moment, because let's be honest, there's still like 80, 90 points to play for. They might get close to the end of the season and go, you know what, we don't think he's going to be the right man and get rid of him. But worried for Exeter. We said that for the last month or so, Ben.
They lost 9-0 as well to Reading in the Bristol Street Motors Cup, didn't they, as well? They've lost 7, I think, to Arsenal's Academy previously as well. They got beat heavily last year as well. So it's not the first time under Gary Caldwell this has happened. And you talk about bounce back ability. They've got an opportunity on Tuesday night to put it right. But, Diabate, up front yesterday, normally kind of a midfield type of player up front.
Centre back, isn't he? It reminds me,
the centre half kind of type of player.
It reminds me, Ben, of when Stuart Pearce put David James up front. Yeah. He'd lost the plot. Lost the plot.
I could see, obviously, if you're playing Bolton, you need to be, big and physical, but he'd be better at the back. I kind of see as well. And you got Zach Jules, who's playing left back. I know he can play there. He's not a left back at all. He's a centre half in my eyes. Mm-hmm. But Bolton, have a day off, boys. 6 straight wins in Sky Bet League One, 8 straight in all competitions. Kept 4 consecutive clean sheets, 22 points now at home. They scored, the most goals in the division, absolutely flying at home and away from home as well. Mm-hmm. They beat the local rivals Blackpool recently as well. Won here, going away from home, beat Wycombe, scored 4 away at Adams Park, won away at Charlton and kind of went under the radar. It kind of went where Bolton should. And this is Bolton the side that 2 years ago were type of, where Wycombe are, where, just outside the playoffs, you're not really kind of mustering anything up. And this is 3 years ago. He never nearly lost his job. He was telling goalkeepers of 20, 21 years of age to man up. And it was called for him that his football was awful. And, fair play to the new owners there that came in and went, no, we are going to back them. And maybe Exeter are looking at that. And they gave him the January window and they brought, the likes of Dapo Afolayan in. They kept the likes of Sarcevic and they brought Matt Gilks back into the fold as well, experienced players. And that's helped them. And they've gone on this kind of mega run. But now you've got players like Adebayo, who scored his first in 7 games the other day. Dion Charles is up to 11 for the season. He probably should be on 15, possibly even 20. I think it'd be disappointing not to even be 15 plus. 37 goals scored for Bolton this season. They get goals from all over. Your Iredale scoring again. Your Sheehan can get goals and get assists. You can keep clean sheets as well. This Bolton side have it in abundance, and they're so talented. They're so they're not. They've just scored 7-0, and I'm about to say they're not exactly flaring, they're not exactly flamboyant, and they can win ugly as well. And I think 100 points, 100 goals is a bit too soon. I kind of think you need to say 3 points at a time. After 3 games, Jake, I was foregone conclusion that Bolton would win the league. They beat Fleetwood. Fleetwood were poor. They beat you boys. I think you had a shot on target, and they beat Cheltenham away. I went to win the league. And it was probably a bit too soon, but top of the league, they've got a tough tie against Oxford. This Bolton side are phenomenal, and I think they're better than Plymouth last season. And they went up with 101 points. How far can this Bolton side go? How far can Ian Evatt take them? Because, wow, they do everything right. They defend from the front. I really like them. I really do.
I think I went even earlier on you for the Bolton title winning parade. I had them as my league winners at the start of the season on my predictions. And I think, the first 3 games certainly showed that. But then they went on a bit of a run where they were papering over cracks. When I've spoken to Cole from the Fan Zone pod, and he said they were winning, but, the performances weren't great. Maybe they were missing key men. Obviously, Dempsey was out at the time, and they were missing... sorry about that. They were missing some key players. But they've come back and they've hit back, because 6 wins in a row at any level is phenomenal. That's winning pretty much what. I don't know. It's a percentage of the season. It's a big percentage of the season. To go and win 6 straight games. They're looking fantastic. Yesterday again, just the football they play. They've got it popping around in midfield, and they've got fullback to fullback scoring goal. I mean, I saw the goal. I think Jack Iredale scored it. If that goal, that sort of move is in the Premier League, people are going to be talking about it as, oh, what a goal. So yesterday I thought they were excellent. They were ruthless. I think sometimes they've got to 3-0 up. And now they're sort of sat back a little bit and gone, well, the game's already won. Yesterday they didn't do that. Yesterday they went for the jugular and absolutely smothered Exeter. And I was really pleased for Dan and Lunderloo, actually, because not only is he a former imp, but also I think he'd had a bit of stick from some sections of the Bolton supporters. He hadn't scored as many goals as he would have liked to since coming in from Southampton, but you could tell in the reaction when he scored yesterday that meant a lot to him, and good on him. He's a really good kid and one hell of a footballer when he gets going. But yeah, Bolton, I mean, don't know about you, Ben, but I fancy them to go and beat Oxford on Tuesday. The way they're playing, Oxford obviously, and we'll come on to them later, after yesterday. Des Buckingham, still new in the job. It's his first home game. It's a big game, obviously. But Ian Everett's been there and got the T-shirt. So I just think they'll get the better of them. But yeah, this Bolton side, for me, maybe I don't think they're as good as the Plymouth side of last year, but I think they're automatically promoted. They're that good.
I think squad depth. Well, I know. Obviously, they've got good players they can bring on. Your Bo Valtons, your Dan Alundus, your Jeromes. If you want to as well, and you saw your McGomas yesterday, your Thomasons, your Dempseys, those types of players that they can bring in. I do think January will be proved, but in the last kind of couple of years, January has been the reason why they've challenged for the playoffs, got into the playoffs, and won promotion throughout the league. We're going to quickly go through Carlisle against Charlton. New owners at Carlisle, which has needed to happen for a while, but they've got that abundance now, and it's good that it's happened now. Kind of the right timing, I felt, for everyone concerned. And they brought Emmanuel in this week as well, so kind of a first signing for them. A bit of a shortage on kind of right-sided players for them. I don't think Plange will stay there much longer if they want to kind of invest in January. Let's be honest. But it's another point. 1 win in 5, drawn 2 of them against a Charlton side that are doing quite well. Blackett-Taylor, 6 goals, 5 assists now for him this season. Got 8 goals, 3 assists last season. So already matched what he got last season. Good result for Carlisle. Charlton in that second half were brilliant. 7 shots on target. Only had the 1 in the first half. So much better. Dominated proceedings, but it was a former Charlton man, Sam Lavelle, who scored an important penalty last season in the Cup to send them through against Premier League opposition. Was the curse for them, and got the Cumbrians a decent point at home. 10 points now at home for Carlisle.
Yeah, you know him pretty well, Ben, don't you, Mr. Lavelle, from what you tell me. But yeah, obviously this new ownership at Carlisle, they're meant to have got a lot of money, and we spoke to Wardy and Tom on the podcast, and they were sort of saying that they'd spoken to Carlisle fans and said that the club are wanting to make pushes for the top 6 next season, and sort of tells you what sort of investment the Americans are wanting to put in. I think with that sort of scale of investment straight away, that they've purchased the whole football club, and they've not been there for a couple of years. So I know I referenced Lincoln, but the Jabaras have been in Lincoln for 2.5 years now, nearly 3 years, and they're still not fully owning of the club. Whereas these new Americans have just come in and taken control of the club from day one. You have to take it with a pinch of salt, because I'm sure Leyton Orient fans would have been buzzing when the Italian chap took over and was promising them the championship, and then they ended up in the conference. So, but again, yesterday I thought Carlisle were good in moments. It's a great goal from Corey Blackett-Taylor, who probably should score earlier. He hits one off the bar, and then, like you say, he tucks in a ball from Tanai Watson, and then Carlisle, I think the goal was a bit fortuitous. It bounced off. I want to say it was, again, it might have been Blackett-Taylor, the right-sided defender, and it forced it back to Jack Armour, who puts it on a plate for Sam Lavelle. So, good point for Carlisle. I think Charlton will be disappointed because, you want to go to the newly promoted sides and win, especially if you want to get in the top 6. But Carlisle yesterday would have been bouncing. Same day as when you went up there on opening day of the season, Ben, and got a point. I think it's equally a good result as that.
Yeah, agree. I absolutely agree there. Cheltenham 2, Oxford 0. Says a lot about League One this week, doesn't it? Where that's probably 3rd best result of the weekend, possibly even 4th best result of the weekend as well. I'll tell you what, they're doing well, Cheltenham. Won 3 of their last 6 games. Lost Jarrell Clark's opening game. Fleetwood only kind of 2 days after starting, really, after that Lincoln game. Since that, some good wins. A point at home against Derby and against Wigan, and beat Vale away, and won here, which is always impressive as well. And again, Street and Goodwin getting goals as well. Your 2 strikers, and Keener dropping deep as well. So adding that little bit of creativity, maybe not the pressure on him, as a number 9, as a number 10, as you will. Oxford's 3rd away defeat of the season. And, Harry's up front, no goals in 10 now for him since that brace away at Derby. I know he's been injuries, but maybe have to look at that. Ruben Rodriguez got sent off, as did Rob Street as well. But again, Cheltenham, Darrell Clark has done really, really well. And if he keeps his Cheltenham side up, for me, whatever Bolton do, whatever Oxford do, whatever Portsmouth do, whatever your Blackpools, your Charltons, your Stevenage, I think Steve Evans would be kind of up there as well. He'd be manager of the season by some distance if he kept this side up. To inherit a side, there's still an awfully long way to go, and there'll be difficult moments for them. This is a really, really good result. It's a good side. There's Buckingham coming at Oxford, but Cheltenham superb.
Yes, and I almost said on T-Lop earlier, Ben, that beating Cheltenham is not for everybody. Obviously, Pompey drew 0-0 with them. Oxford have been beaten. Obviously, you boys beat them 2-0, 3-0?
Yeah, 2-0 away.
2-0. We beat them 2-0. So, but they are a different animal under Darrell Clark. They've brought in some good players. I think Rob Street's a good addition. But the one that sort of changed their fortunes this season, if you like, I think has been Tom Pett. Really tenacious midfielder who drives them up the pitch. And I think he had another good performance yesterday. Like you mentioned, Rob Street, it's a good strike for the first goal, but stupid to get a sending off. And at 1-0, you're sort of worrying, is that going to cost us? Because Oxford are a good side, especially they keep the ball enough when you've got 11 men on the pitch. To try and contain them with 10 men on the pitch would be a lot harder. Rodriguez misses a sitter, probably should score. I mean, he's hit it well over the bar. And then they go on and score the second. I think it's a really long ball up from Luke Southwood, and it falls to Goodwin, who's had a really good couple of weeks, Ben, to be fair to him, since signing permanently there as well. He had a good loan spell, I think, with Torquay in the National League last year. So I think it's a great result for Cheltenham. I don't disagree with you on the Darrell Clark shout. 11 games, no goals. And they've played 17 now, 6 games later. And they're almost back with the main pack now. They're not many points behind Carlisle and Fleetwood. It's a great job he's done, to be fair.
Yeah, agreed. Derby County 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Derby County 3, straight victories, all at home. And this one wasn't as convincing as the others have been, but 3 points more or less. Port Vale up next, 30 points. 30 goals scored. It's not bad for a side that are really underachieving. Let's be honest about it. And we've been really harsh on them. They had 6 shots on target yesterday, found their way through. Bristol Rovers did level. Chris Martin, the man who scored over 70 goals and over 200 appearances for the Rams, across a long spell there. Had loans elsewhere, but was a mainstay in that Derby team for a number of years, coming back to haunt them. And then it was an own goal in the end that won the day. Good result for Derby. Andy Mangan is favourite for the Bristol Rovers job. And Anthony Evans who got an assist yesterday saying he wants Mangan to get it. Great result for Derby. And where do you see Andy Mangan? Because I kind of think that as time goes on, he's going to get it. I don't think he wanted it at first. Now he's had a taste for it. A couple of wins, you want it. But a couple of defeats all of a sudden, you kind of think, do I want it?
Yeah, I'll touch on Derby first. I think it was a better home performance than I think you saw Leyton on. I'm looking at the SofaScore graph now, and they were very dominant in the first half, especially, and equally in the second half. I think to have to say Derby, we've criticised Derby, and they're in the playoffs, Ben, and they've still got games in hand on teams around them. They're, Derby can't having a poor season, and they're sixth. I think they'd have taken sixth last year. Yesterday, I think Bristol Rovers did make a good account of themselves. Obviously, they scored, but when you score 87 minutes gone, Ben, you want to really get something from the game, and unfortunately for Bristol Rovers, it fell to, well, it's gone down as a Nathaniel Mendez-Land goal, but whether it is, it will remain to be seen. Oh no, it is the first goal that's the own goal. I look like a dick there. Andy Mangan. I think it'd be the cheap option. I think there will have been interest in that post. Bristol Rovers are a club that can go and pay a manager out of a contract. I think if they wanted him that badly, they've got the backing from Wahid or whatever his name is Qatari, Dubai, sort of that way of the world based. I'd be surprised if they didn't go and fill that post. But if Andy Mangan gets it, I think he's had a good interim sort of moment. He's had a good couple of performances. I think it's difficult when you're an interim manager because you don't know what to do. You don't know whether to play the way you have been before or to change it up completely. And I think he's done a good job, but it looks more increasingly like that he's going to get the job. And I think Bristol Rovers fans will be disappointed.
Next up, Fleetwood Town 0, Stevenage 3. Yeah, a good one there. We'll go to Leyton now.
Oh dear.
Fleetwood had 31 shots. Stevenage didn't quite have as many. Stevenage, I think, had 7 shots, something like that. They had 3 on target compared to Fleetwood 7, and they scored 3 goals. Fleetwood at the bar twice, had 1 disallowed. First up, the first thing I always like doing is, Stevenage, well done. A good away victory, typical Steve Evans, type of performance, legs, hearts, minds, get the ball, be direct, get the ball up, as quickly as we can and play to your strengths. And they dictated it. They came into our house and played by their rules. And that shouldn't happen. It was so easy. It was, they could do what they want really. And they never really looked like they were going to, open up or concede a goal. So, a big credit for them there. Ashby Hammond had a great game. Pijani was outstanding as well for Burns in the middle of the park was good for Sakaski, excellent. Again, Thompson getting his first goal for the football club, big goal Reedy, at the top of the pitch as well.
Regular goal Reedy.
Yeah, exactly. Consistent goal, really. Hemmings and Roberts as well haven't been as flashy this year, but have worked hard. Pressed well when they need to as well, and got them up the pitch. Scored at important times, and that's what you need to do in League One at 35 points. I kind of think they'll need another 40 points to get into the playoffs. Current projections would say 74 would be enough. 48 would keep you up in the division. If that's the case, 4 wins and a draw off, staying up in the division, they could easily do that by match day kind of 24, can't they? They're that good. For Fleetwood, worst home record in the division. We've had 6 games under Johnson at home. We've lost 4. Lost to Wycombe 4-1. Lost to Oxford 3-0, Stevenage 3-0, and Lincoln 1-0. And the first 3 were bad defeats. We played well yesterday. It wasn't like a performance under Brown. We had a go. The effort was there, and I always thought that we were going to give something. At the Lincoln game, we were poor, and I came away from the ground really angry. Came away from the ground yesterday quite happy, which surprised me. But again, this team, will improve. I keep saying stick with it, stick with the football club, and we'll be fine. And I sound like delusional, but I do see this side improving. And Phoenix Patterson had 8 chances yesterday. 8 chances he's created, whether it was for him or a teammate as well. He's going to be vital. What are your thoughts, Jake? That's me anger out.
I'll touch on Stevenage first, mate, because I saw them the week before you did. They know what they are and they're very good at it. They've got the parameters. I think they're not the most technically gifted side in the world, but they know what they're doing and they're very good at it. And I think they have the right manager to execute the game plan. They've got some good players. Reed, obviously, like you mentioned, Ben Thompson, I thought did well coming off as well. They've got some good players in the squad, and ultimately they're 4 for a reason. And are they joint on points with Oxford and up the top? And they could. I know they've played more games, but Oxford could go on a run and completely falter, and then the level, going into them. But for Fleetwood, Tony's put it there. 31 shots, no goals. I know I watched your video. Phoenix hit the bar. You had a couple of opportunities that perhaps half opportunities, maybe not any clear as cut. Oh yes, I've seen that from Tony. Yeah. Well done,
wait till I see you.
Well done, Tone. Appreciate that. But yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I think since Johnson's come in, Fleetwood have been a lot better. Performances have been a lot better than under Scott Brown, and I think you're in games now. Whereas yesterday you might not have been, but you're more in games this year. So yeah, I think you'd be disappointed to lose 3-0 at home again, but still, I think you'd be absolutely fine.
Tony asked me this question yesterday coming out of the ground. Would you rather have lost 3-0 or lost 1-0 like we did under Brown and there wasn't really an effort there and you kind of felt, well, we'll hold on, be static, let's not go for the win. Second goal is poor. Bossa makes an absolute stinker of it. And I think Johnson told him pretty clearly after the game. He made a hint that he's told certain players, and looking back at the game as they did, I stupidly watched 15, 20 minutes of the extended highlights back. I was thinking, oh, you silly, silly boy. And the third one, you push up the pitch looking to try and get a goal. Next up, Orient 1, Wigan 1. And if Wigan continue to miss penalties, they're going to continue not to win games of football. Humphreys missed a pen but scored a worldie. Orient, another point for them, but now winning 6. 4 of those have come in draws. 21 points now for the U's. 42% O's.
You know your vowels, mate. I-E-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Come on, Ben, say it with me.
You won't be able to speak in a minute, you. 21 points this season, which is a really, really good return, for a newly promoted side. Sartori, again, 6 goals, 2 assists, another assist for him yesterday, 4 with his 3rd goal of the season, but Humphreys screamer. Wigan only lost 1 in 7, which is, good to see as well. They're kind of slowly getting there now. They won 3 in a row, 2-0, beat Peterborough at home as well, defeating there as well, but not doing too badly, both sides. And both sides, I kind of think will stay up comfortably. I think Wigan will finish in the top 12. I really do.
Interesting. Because I've got a theory on the league table when we get to it. Yeah.
That part, we can look the top half. So just
okay. Yeah, my point's about the top half, mate. Don't worry, don't concern Fleetwood at all.
Yeah.
But Orient, I think, they were awful on Tuesday when we played them in the rearranged game for Derek, which we were able to sneak the 3 points from. I thought they were poor that night, had no impetus going forward at all. So they changed it. They were lucky to have Archibald back on Saturday. Shatford came into the team, who's had a pretty good loan spell, I think it would be fair to say. He's a very different sort of forward to Joe Pigott. I think it worked yesterday. He scored a really lovely goal into the far corner. For Wigan, like you mentioned, look, I'm a goalkeeper. I didn't think it was a penalty in the first place. I think unless there's about 6 Wigan players in peppermint shirts surrounding the referee, I think the referee wouldn't give it. But because they surround him, I think they give it. And justice, therefore, is done, in my opinion, when he slaps it against the bottom of the post. But look, I think both of these teams will be fine. Orient just need to find that nous in front of goal again, and they've got Joe Pigott, who knows what he's doing at this level as well. They've got some good established players. Max Sanders has played at this level for 3-4 years. Theo Archibald has got experience at this level. Darren Pratley's played at this level as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get on. And then for Wigan, I think it's just about progress. Stay up this year for Wigan. I know they won't be in any danger, but you push for Wigan comes next year, Ben, for me. And but like you say, they'll be absolutely fine this year. Whether they finish in the top 12, I disagree slightly. But I think they'll be around that mid-table mark. Absolutely.
Brilliant point for you yesterday against Barnsley. We both drawn 2-2 away at Oakwell. I think ours slightly tips yours.
You're at home, mate, not away.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were away. You're at home. You scored an 88th minute equaliser. They conceded an 88th minute equaliser against us. McAtee again. A goal and assist from yesterday. Cotter with a goal. Danny Manjoy with a goal. Back on the score sheet. That'll do him the world of good. TJ been excellent in recent games as well. Really picked up. A slightly even game. 4 shots on target each. Second half, I thought Lincoln were with a better side. Kind of had the better chances in my eyes as well. And you come away disappointed. It's a good battling point. I think you'd have taken 4 points, in Scooby-Doo's first game.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah, Stevenage away, Leyton Orient away, Barnsley at home.
Take 4 points.
You would, if I'm honest with you, I probably would have predicted you to get 1.
Yeah, I think...
I know 3, because I actually predicted you to beat Barnsley 2-1.
You did?
But I couldn't see you winning away at Orient, and I couldn't see you winning away at Stevenage. So, and you're only a point behind Barnsley. I know you played 1 more, 2 more, but you're not doing too badly.
Points on the board, mate. That's what I'd rather have points on the board than games in hand. And I'm sure Matt Farley is sat there saying the exact same thing. Yes, I thought yesterday we scored the first goal, and it was a penalty, by the way. I know I've seen a few Barnsley fans sort of say it wasn't. Once we scored the first goal, we had 15 minutes in the first half where we should have gone for it. Makama, Mr. Sitter, probably should have scored. Last Sorensen had one which he probably would have liked to have done better with, and we should have killed them off there and then. Then we let Barnsley grow into the game. McAtee had a growing influence, and I think you sort of saw that in the second half. We came out not really as sharp, and he was able to do some really good stuff. I mean, the ball in for the second goal was a fantastic cross, whatever level you're at. And then the second goal, he 4 minutes later, he's in the right place at the right time to finish. And I agree with you, TJ. He's been fantastic since sort of the Port Vale game. Really handled Uche Piazzu really well, or Uch, there it is, as the Vale fans call it. Also, I think he played really well in the win against Orient. Really handled Jamie Reid pretty well at Stevenage. And then yesterday got his first goal at Central Bank. So really happy for TJ this season. It's a good point, Ben. I think a point against Barnsley at home is a good point. They're a team above us in the table. If you look at them, we tend to struggle against teams who are above us in the table. Most of our defeats have come to sides that are above us. So it's progress. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo got some work to do. I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, on Twitter. It's his first home game. He's gone over to the big stand for the first time, and he's sort of just there waving. He's clapping and he's sort of waving like this, and he's like, I've got no idea what I'm doing in front of this many people. Help me, please. But I think it's a good point. And we got Cambridge on Tuesday. Big game, and then we've got a free Saturday, something we've not had for a very long time. We've got free couple of weeks, and I think we're going to see. I think by the time we play Wigan on the 9th, I think you're going to see a more Skabala-like side, and I'm looking forward to that.
I bet you are. Northampton 2, Cambridge 1. That first goal Northampton scored. Defensively, Cambridge need to look at themselves, and they've lost 6 of the last 12, won 1 in that time, beat Carlisle at home. Lincoln at home up next. I do worry for them, only picking up 8 points in 12. Slowly, they're on 20 points, Orient are 1 above them. Northampton are on the same, but they feel miles away from Cambridge, feel miles ahead of them. It was a good result for Northampton, back-to-back wins after a difficult few weeks, and it feels like Northampton can go and get a couple of results in a flurry, and kind of they don't need to win, in 5, but then they'll go and win 2 in 2 and get themselves out of it. And if you can go at 7 points in a 3-game week, all of a sudden your season looks totally different. So, again, Bowie with his first goal, scored 5 goals last season, and Hoskins with his 10th goal of the season. Gatton had me goal for Cambridge, got them back in it. FA Cup distraction next week. They play Lincoln and Fleetwood this week as well. It'll be interesting to see. Do they want to get to the third round of the FA Cup? Will they concentrate on staying in League One as well? They've had good memories of the FA Cup, beat Newcastle a couple of years ago as well. But for Northampton, Jake, good win.
Yeah, and I've been big on the Cobblers since they got promoted, to be honest. Their home form last year at Sixfields was formidable, and it's very important that they do the same in League One to try and solidify. Because if you look at Northampton, Ben, they're serially get promoted, then go straight back down. This time, I don't think they'll do that because of their home form, and they've got a player like Sam Hoskins who scored 10 games. Who's that's fantastic. But I think we can play. Don't we can play on like Monday night as well? They've got way more games before the game than we have. But Northampton, good side, really like them. Sam Hoskins, John Bailey plays some good football with them. For Cambridge, I mean, I'll tell you more on Tuesday after I've seen them, but I am starting to get a bit worried about Cambridge. Obviously, you mentioned their 6 defeats in 12. Doesn't sound bad on the face of it, but still, you are slightly concerned for their form. And again, they're struggling with scoring goals. I think it shows you why teams like Portsmouth and Bolton and Stevenage are also good because they've got players that regularly score goals. When you don't have it, you become a Cambridge essentially. So, starting to get worried that they're slipping, aren't they, mate? Big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Posh now, 4-0 against Burton. Posh are slowly cooking. And one thing I like about them, Jay, Johnson Clark-Harris coming out the side. He's coming on for 10, 15 minutes. That tells you he's going in January. I think we all knew that. Derek Anthony came out and went, he's not going to be a Posh player. Let's be honest, he's got 6 months left. Let's cash in. It'd be interesting to see the fee that they get for him to see will he cut it
where he
off.
goes.
Yeah, I think they'll be asking for around £600,000. I really do. But Jones up front is a weakness. I know they brought strikers in the summer as well. Mason Clark now 10 goals in all competitions, 6 and 6 for him. Poku yesterday was outstanding. Didn't score against this, but he was outstanding. Randell 3 goals, 3 assists. Cipriano and Collins in kind of the pivot roles as well, doing really well as well. Poku's got 7 goals to his name this season as well. They're doing really, really well, Posh. They feel like this could be their time. And they had 71% possession yesterday, 2.9 expected goals, 23 big chances, 25 points in 12, won 6 out of 9 at home. For Burton, no winning 4, no goal in the last 3. It's typical Burton, but the football they've been playing hasn't been great at all. And Dino Manria is coming under some stick, it seems, at Burton.
Well, I'm glad you like something about Posh because I bloody well don't. I absolutely hate him. No, in all seriousness, 9 goals in 2 home games is outstanding. Looks like Bolton nearly did that in 90 minutes on Saturday, so we can take that away from them. But no, I was speaking to a Posh fan for my sins the other day, and they were sort of saying that Poku and Mason Clark is probably the best front line they've had whilst they've ever been in League One because they've got 23 goal contributions between the two of them, and it's in the end of November. They're a fantastic duo. They find each other. I think it was the first goal against Cambridge before the international break that it was a ball in from Poku that found Mason Clark at the back post and he headed in. They've got some good chemistry. Like you say, they're electric going forward. Peterborough always are. Burton, Burton at home, you have them down for a comfortable home win, and that's what it was. But like you say, for Burton, 29% possession. They went to not lose the game, and as soon as the first goal goes in, your game plan goes out the window. You're right, you cannot do that against Peterborough because if you drop back, they've got players who can hit the ball pretty fiercely, the likes of Ajiboye, who we found out he can strike a ball pretty well. Randall's good with the ball at distance as well. So Peterborough, I think they might have a bit of a sticky patch in January, depending on what the outgoings are. If Ronnie Edwards goes as well, could be interesting. But they're a good side, Peterborough. I'll give them that.
Portsmouth are human. They've lost a game of football. They've not lost.
Oh dear.
Hello, hi Dylan.
Yeah, where's Dylan? Where's Dylan all of a sudden? I'll tell you, Ben. Did you see the tweet that I put out last night? That's been in the draft since the start of the season.
Has it?
Yeah, and do you know what? After every time, and Wardy will back me up because he does this for Oxford as well. Every time Lincoln lose, or every time Oxford lose, I get a little. My phone buzzes. It buzzes constantly for like 35 seconds because it's Dylan ringing me. I decided, you know what? I'm pretty happy with the Lincoln result. Let's see how Pompey got on. 4-0 written all over it. Sorry, Tom. I know you'll be listening, mate.
Somebody has to.
Do I get an answer from Dylan? Do you think? Did I get an answer? But to be fair to him, he did call me back at 7, 8 o'clock last night. So I think, and I'm sorry to take your limelight on the Pompey game. I think there were a couple of decisions that went against Pompey. Yeah. It's a penalty for me on Abu Kamara. Now, I don't know if you've been checking the T-Lock group chat, Ben, but there has been a still of Jake Beasley's goal or Karamoko Dembele's goal. It looks like Beasley is onside.
He is.
Now, I don't know. Logan's just put there the second goal is offside. I think he's onside because Connor Shocknessy is playing him on. Tom threw a hissy fit. That's what you do. It's what you expect. It's against your club. But Blackpool were sensational yesterday in every facet of the game. They kept Portsmouth quiet. I think it's a really good performance there. CJ Hamilton was fantastic. Albie Morgan. All right.
I'm back now, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I think it's a really important goal for Albie Morgan as well. He's found it difficult since moving to Blackpool. I think he's not had the best start in a tangerine shirt, so that's a really important goal. And the one player I want to talk about, Ben, and I'm sure you do, and a lot of Blackpool fans as well, is Karamoko Dembele. What a player! He's come in. I think he was at Brest in the second division in France. Not something you see a lot of, Ben. If we're being brutally honest, and he's come in and he's done really well. And I think a lot of Championship clubs, looked past him in the summer, and I think that's very much fallen into Blackpool's hands. He's one hell of a player. Him and CJ Hamilton look absolutely terrifying. And the thing is, they scored 4 goals yesterday. Jordan Rose wasn't even on the score sheet, so that would be pleasing for Blackpool fans.
I take nothing away. Portsmouth were poor. They weren't on the day. They played too poorly, but first of all, credit the 27 game unbeaten run. It will always be remembered. There'll be some big games where they'll think, oh, remember when we went to Barnes and we ended that record of 20 plus years. We got a decent point against Charlton. We should have won it. We beat Wycombe in the last minute. We beat Lincoln late on. We managed to do it. We came back against Peterborough as well. We got the job done. And again, it's all about the bounce back ability for them now. And Wigan did it a few years ago. Bolton have done it excellently this year. They've had setbacks. They've lost 4-0 at home. Oxford have had setbacks. You are going to have it in a season. You are going to have 3 or 4 big hits. And, Regan Poole getting injured. They've had 2 or 3 big blows in the last year. Joe Morrell getting sent off. Paddy Lane not being fully fit. Colby Bishop, not scoring for as many games as you would like or not getting as many goals as you would like in recent weeks as well. So, again, I think we'll see what this Portsmouth side is all about. We'll see what John Mousinho's like as a man. We really will. Now, Blackpool, I'm taking absolutely nothing away. They've won 4-0 back-to-back weeks. They've won 6 of the last 12. They've lost 3. Now, before the Shrewsbury game, there was a bit of pressure surrounding Blackpool because they'd lost at home to Derby. They'd had some difficult weeks. They'd lost away at Bolton, drew at Fleetwood, where 3-2 up, and they conceded in the last minute, and all of a sudden you think, we're getting nowhere near the playoffs here. Blackpool deserve a lot of credit now. I think Blackpool had the toughest away run in League One this season. Into Exeter, Lincoln, Wycombe, Barnsley, Charlton, Oxford, Fleetwood, Bolton, Portsmouth. You played 2 local derbies. You've got against Bolton, the local rivalry for many years. And you've got probably, in my eyes, the biggest derby in the world. In the File Coast derby, it's everybody wants to play in that derby. El Clasico, the Manchester derby, the London derby, the File Coast derby is the biggest one in world football.
Not to anything, no.
But a tricky tie away at Exeter, away at Lincoln, Wycombe, the top place. They won away at Barnsley.
How'd they get on at Lincoln, Ben?
Yeah, they lost. Well done. And then they drew at Charlton where they should have won it. So again, this is the Blackpool side that are constantly improving. The introduction of Dembele recently into the team as well. I've been critical of Blackpool needing to play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 to get him in the team. And again, they can play him in that kind of attacking midfield role. And I think the big influence has been CJ Hamilton getting goals and getting assists. He's been allowed to play further up the pitch. And, on the SofaScore graphic, you can see how high the wing backs are. Because CJ Hamilton and Owen Dale.
You sound like Wardy.
Yeah, there you are. The wing, they're going, they're so high up. Well, because the wingers, they aren't wing backs, and they were being
Yeah.
used to defensively. And if you let Owen Dale and let CJ go and attack, and use your back three, who are good defensive players that you can go on your little adventures, Blackpool will do just fine. CJ Hamilton has got the most assists in League One with Poku on 6 this season. He's been outstanding in recent weeks as well. They can score goals from outside the box. He scored a couple away at Fleetwood through Sonny Carey, and away yesterday as well. Blackpool, really good result. They've got Northampton on Tuesday. It's now going on that run. I've always believed Blackpool would go on one. They've scored 28 in the last 12. Really good result. Portsmouth will be back, but Blackpool have gone somewhere and proved the worth. They beat them in the season where they went up a few years ago, 1-0. This is a totally different kind of performance. And eyebrows were raised. Full credit to Blackpool. In my eyes. Jake, we'll go to Shrewsbury now. Shrewsbury got the job done. Now for Shrewsbury, for me. Shrewsbury.
Tom Gordon.
Yeah, there you are. T-Lop, if you know, you know. They do what Fleetwood, what Carlisle, what Port Vale, what Exeter, what Cheltenham, what Reading don't do consistently, and play poorly and win games of football. And they've got 23 points from 19 games, Jay. Shrewsbury, if you said that at the start of the season, you'd probably have taken it. The way you're playing football, they've been better scoring goals lately, but the strong home form, they've got the 6th best home form in the division, I think it is, or they're definitely in the top 6. And, you look at you're beating Reading, you're beating Northampton, you are stronger, and it's away from home. They've already beat Fleetwood and got a point away at Cambridge, losing all the rest. They are strong at home. They need to be better away, but Matty Taylor keeps getting these results that will buy him 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, he keeps pulling a rabbit out of the hat, doesn't he, unexpectedly. Because the football is turgid, as most Shrewsbury fans would admit. They've not got great options going forward. Daniel Udoh is a good centre forward, but doesn't do it on a consistent enough basis for me. And like you say, they just pull moments out of the hat, don't they? You've got the win against Reading where they score 2 in injury time. You've got the one against Northampton where they score slightly. I don't know what all that's about with Chris, but the Northampton game. Then yesterday, Port Vale essentially took it on a plate for him, didn't they? Literally tied it up, put an apple in the mouth, and sat on a silver plate. And we're like, "Come on, Shrewsbury, come and get it." Port Vale poor. They had all those shots and. They had a lot of corners as well, 73% possession, as Andy says there. Port Vale need to get better at being the favourites. They're very good at being the underdogs, a bit like what Lincoln were last year. Port Vale need to start beating teams in and around them because, what was it? The second international break of the season, Ben, Port Vale and Exeter top 2. Now you're starting to look at both of them going, you don't know. Could they? Could it happen?
Port Vale have won 10.
Yeah, and look, Shrewsbury I don't know how they do it, Ben. 23 points from 19 games. I've seen them this year. They were horrific. God knows how they've done it. But yeah, Shrewsbury 2, Port Vale 1. God knows how.
I think Chris meant give Ben a like. I don't think he meant not. I think he's had a bit of a moment there.
You hope so.
He's not been horrible. He's a nice guy. He's Chris. Next up and last of all, Wycombe 1, Reading 2. Their first victory for over 365 days. They beat Hull 2-1. It wasn't QPR. No, but beat Hull 2-1. A good result for them yesterday. One of the goals, the ball's come in. It's kind of gone past everyone and just curled into the corner. And it's like, and Sam Smith getting on the score sheet as well, showing that desire
to
get the goal. No, it's a Sam Smith song, but yeah,
don't listen to him.
No, I don't. It's just a Sam Smith song. Again, good result for Reading. They held on, and you thought, is this going to be the same situation at Shrewsbury? Is it going to be the same situation against Portsmouth, against Fleetwood? They got the job done. Wycombe, Matt Bloomfield, started poorly, ended poorly, went all right, 10 games, 20 points, and then all of a sudden now result in 6, couple of draws in there, defeats to Bolton, now defeat here. It's getting worrying, 3 defeats in the last 6, drew the other 3. where do you see this Wycombe side? Because Reading is a good point. They're in double digits now, which is good for them. Finally, they had to get some points away from home eventually. And I can see them improving now. But for Wycombe, I don't know where to see them.
I think when you take on a young coach like Matt Bloomfield, I think any young coach comes with a little bit of a risk in terms of they might just go on a run where they're not picking results up. I think it's similar to if you put a young lad in the starting 11, like a 19, 18-year-old, and they'll have games where they have flashes of brilliance and they'll play really well. But they might also, if you're expecting them to play 6, 7 games in a row, they might just not hit those peak performances because their peak and their troughs and they're too far apart. And consistency is when you find that middle ground. And Matt Bloomfield is sort of going through those peaks and troughs. They're really high peaks. So, like you said, 20 points in 10 games, and then not being able to get a result in 6 sort of shows you that there's a real big discrepancy there. And I'm starting to get not worried, but slightly concerned because this Wycombe team are and will believe that they can get in the top 6 because there is an opportunity for them this year to do so. But they play good football. Yesterday, it just became a bit of a fight. I think Reading made it a bit of a fight. I don't think Wycombe like that anymore. But for Reading, I've got a close mate I went to uni with who's a Reading fan, and he was absolutely ecstatic yesterday. He was absolutely buzzing, and good on him to go and get that first away win. Well done, Reading.
Nothing beats an away win, does it, as well?
No.
So, again, get liking, get subscribing. Guys, that'd be massively appreciated. I think this next part of the show, Jay, the League One table. And get your questions in. We'll come to them. And we've also got a few on Twitter as well that we'll come to. The League One table, then, it might be a bit small, but we will read it out. Reading, Cheltenham, Carlisle, and Fleetwood entertain the bottom 4.
Whoopsie.
Yes, exactly. Fleetwood in the bottom 4. Where do you see the bottom 4 going then, Jake? Because just above it, Exeter, Port Vale on bad runs, Wigan in a false position, Burton and Cambridge struggling as well. I kind of see that table forming now. Take Wigan out and move them up to kind of maybe above Orient, and the League One table's telling the truth.
Yeah. In terms of the bottom, there are 2 teams that I am confident will get out the bottom 4, and they are Fleetwood and Cheltenham. I think both of those will pick up enough points to get above the line. I can see somebody like a Burton, a Cambridge, a Port Vale, or an Exeter sort of dropping into the bottom 4. I think Reading and I think Reading are one that will probably be gone. I think Fleetwood will get out of it. I think Cheltenham were going to get out of it. I mean, the gap's only 5 points now. The gap, when Darryl Clark came in was maybe sort of 8-9 points, and they've got that down. So, I think the league table is right. And I'll tell you I told you I had a bit of a conspiracy about the league table. I think that top 10 won't change at the end of the season. I think that is the top 10. I think they are the 10 best teams in the league. I think you're then looking at Bristol Rovers and Wycombe to come maybe next out of that bracket. And I think it will be 4 of the. Well, it will obviously be 6 of those top 10. But I think the teams outside, so Blackpool, Barnsley, Lincoln, and Charlton are realistically the ones that are going to challenge for the top 6. I think. It's difficult. It's good, mate. Look how close it is because we have played more games, but we can't move too much further down the table. I think Bristol Rovers can only just overtake us, but then they've got to have, they've got to win both games, which at the moment you'd probably say they wouldn't. Charlton have got to pick up 4 from the 2 games as well. So, I think that is the top 10 for me.
Yeah, agree. Again, going back to the middle part of the table, I think Wigan will be 9th without the deductions as well. Going back to the top 10, I do fully agree there. I can see Bristol Rovers and Lincoln will be that other one. The only battle I kind of see happening, if I'm honest with you. All on the Bristol Rovers appointment. I think if they appoint well, they could finish above Lincoln. It'd be very interesting, that one. Barnsley and Blackpool and Derby are quite a way away now from Peterborough, Stevenage, and that gap is appearing. I know there's game in hand to be happening, but there's still a long way to go. But there's starting to be a little point gaps, and obviously there's no game Saturday, but we will start to see, because it is going to be Saturday, Tuesday, and I think there's 7 games till New Year's now, and we're on the 26th of November. That's 35. You're playing every 4 or 5 days, aren't you? And there's pretty much a game on in League One, pretty much every other, or 1 in 3 nights as well. Derby getting into the playoffs is excellent. I see that top 5 staying in the playoffs. I really do. And Stevenage, there was always that one team that go on a run and stay there and overachieve. Well, no one's saying it could be Stevenage this year. And, they remind me very much of Fleetwood, a bit like Lincoln, a bit like Shrewsbury, Scunthorpe that got into the playoffs, underachieved, got in there. Maybe it's not Scunthorpe because they had the budget too in your Van Veens, your Morrises, your Adelicans, your Connor Townsends, those types of players as well. Good player back in the day, Connor Townsend, that left back for Scunthorpe. And they can go to a side and win 1-0. They can go to a side and win 2-0. They can win flashy. They can win ugly and pull, score. The goal against Lincoln isn't a classic, mate. And, some of the goals yesterday against Fleetwood are doggy goals, but they got the way through. And Steve Evans' experience, he'll stay at the football club. I'm sure of that. Yeah, and I kind of think it's going to be one of Barnsley, Blackpool, or Derby, or Charlton getting into that last place. And I kind of think you'll have Bristol Rovers, Lincoln, Wycombe, next up, and then you've got your Shrewsbury's, your Orients, Northampton, and Wigan, in that bracket with Shrewsbury. And then I think you've kind of got your Burtons, your Port Vales, Exeters, Carlisles, Cheltenham. I think Fleetwood will finish 7 from bottom. I really do. I think the Fleetwood will be in the last group, but be top of it. And I predict, 16 for Fleetwood. I think I could be right around about that marker as well. Get your questions in, guys, for the last kind of 5-10 minutes of the show. Jake, how proud are we? We've done a show at 57 minutes, and we're pretty much onto the last bit. We're not going to over. We're doing well.
It's good, mate, isn't it? It's good when things go to plan, isn't it?
It's a bit like T-Lot before.
Well, we had Precious to finish by 12, didn't we? Because I think Wardy was going to watch his little brother play football, but. Yes, it's been good, mate. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to these questions. I'm wondering what you've got up your sleeve.
So we've got a few on Twitter. If you don't follow me already, over 7,000 followers on Twitter now. FTS for all things Sky Bet League One. There's loads of tweets that get banged out over the weekend as well. These are going to be quick fire. Who's next for the sack, Jake? I think.
Gary Cole. It's got to be Gary Caldwell. Yeah, Gary Caldwell. Got to be.
But I don't think we'll see a manager sacked before Christmas.
I do.
I don't think Dean Manri will get sacked. I don't think Ruben Sellers all depends if a takeover happens quickly. Cheltenham have already changed. Burton won't sack. Shrewsbury won't sack. Cambridge have just given Mark Bonner a new deal. I kind of thought that was rash. You don't give a manager a new deal that quick. I probably agree. What do you think of the ceilings for this Stevenage side? I think promotion. I really do. And I think it'll be as good as an achievement.
Do you think they'll get promoted this season?
No,
I
don't
think they will. I think they'll finish in the top 6.
I think they'll finish in the top 6, but it's too early to say, but I think they'll finish in the top 6. If Bolton Wanderers continue their current points per game and goals per game, they'll have 100 points and 100 goals. Can you see this Bolton team doing it? I can't. I can see you getting promoted, but not 100 points. I don't see anyone in League One getting 100 points this season.
100 points, 100 goals is a very big achievement. Bolton are a good side, but I don't think they'll do it.
Ipswich narrowly missed out on it last year, didn't they?
Well, yeah, and also Plymouth got 100 points but didn't get 100 goals, did they? And those two teams were phenomenal. And it shows you what Ipswich have gone on to do in the level above, how good a side that was. Yes, they've had a couple of additions since, but Bolton. I don't think they'll do it, but I do think Bolton will win the league.
Should Port Vale part company with Andy Crosby? 2 months ago was the best since sliced bread.
Not for me.
I kind of think you need to give him a little bit more. I think he was let down in the January. I don't think Ellis Harrison should ever have left the football.
You need to give a manager 3 windows, Ben, at least. Yeah.
And he's had one.
And if he's not improved in a year's time, then get him gone.
Are you looking forward to visiting Hillsborough next season?
I can't wait, Ben.
I was speaking to a couple of Wednesday lads at the Content Awards. We won silver. We won an award.
You don't mention it. It's not like it's in the background.
I'm a bit shy. That I want gold next year. Always believing. How many points do you think Bolton will win the league by? I think it could be 5 points. I don't think it'll be any more. Stevenage has been a bit of a surprise package coming into League One. Can they keep it up? Yes, absolutely. We kind of answered that. Do you think Fleetwood will go down? I am absolutely certain we will stay up. We've got a good manager, we've got a good team. Your Hennigans, your Velas, your Marriotts, your Pattersons, your Juniors, your Josh Hills. January is huge because Jack Marriott wanted to go in the summer. Josh Hill's got 6 months left on the contract. Can we keep Junior? Can we keep Brendan? Can we keep, our key players? I think Fleetwood needs to have a look for a goalkeeper, and a midfielder and a striker in the win and a fullback.
Josh Hill going to become available, mate, in the summer?
Say again.
Is Josh Hill going to become available in the summer?
He's got 6 months left on his contract. I won't be too surprised. Do you think this is a drop off? Do you think this is a sort of a drop off for Oxford? Because I don't. I kind of think they won't be as good as they were, but I still think they'll get into the top 6.
It's going to take a bit of adjustment for Des. Yes, it's a similar style, but he's played in a completely different league over in India. I think he's going to take a bit of a time to adapt. Obviously, they've got a massive game on Tuesday, and they're going to be without one of their key men in Rodriguez, who stupidly got sent off on Saturday. So I'm taking Oxford out of the automatic promotion race for me, because there's a little adjustment period, and you look at the teams around there. Peterborough know what they are, Stevenage know what they are, Bolton know what they are, Pompey know what they are. So I think Oxford will still finish in the top 6, but I'd expect a little bit of a drop off.
Do you think Portsmouth will drop off? Another one from Twitter?
No, I don't.
No, I don't either. I'm surprised Exeter have stuck with Carlisle. What a pair of fab gems. Thanks very much, mate. Do you think Oxford will get the playoffs at the end of the season? Yes, I do. Rather have games in hand. Not a chance. Rather have points on the board. How do you think Portsmouth? I think there'll be a bit of a wobble. I really do. I think there'll be a bit of a that if they score first on Tuesday, if they go behind, it's like, oh, here we go.
3 winnable games, Ben, before
Northampton.
Burton's
a tough, horrible place to go.
Yeah, but you'd expect Pompey to go there and win both of them, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris.
Go to Brest.
Okay. One's going to be backed in January. Need strikers. You have to play players that can whip the ball into the box. Ben, do you think Fleetwood will lose players? I think Marriott will go. I'm a big believer in Jack Marriott wanted to go, and he was missing training sessions, and he was sulking, and he wasn't getting into the team. Why all of a sudden is he backfiring? The manager must have come in and said, "Look, come in, score some goals." We've had it with Devante Cole. Put yourself in the market, and if you do it for me till January, get us out the bottom 4, we'll sell you. And for me, I don't think Johnson's coming and said you're not going to be sold, because Brown was hesitant. Jack Marriott's going nowhere. And that didn't help the situation, to say the least.
He's reacted really well, Ben. I think Marriott. To say he didn't get the move that he wanted in the summer.
Yeah,
I think, what's
that's a goal scorer.
What's he scored? 7.
Yeah, something like that.
7, 8 goals. It's a really big contribution. Thank
you for the donation, Hugh. Massive.
Splitting that in half, aren't we, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. We will.
Miles bar each.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Thank you so much. I bought you a pint. What more do you want? Will Fleetwood win at Fratton? I tell you what. I'd love it if we went now. He won 1-0. I tell you what. Honestly, I don't care about winning 4, 3. I want to go down and win 1-0. If we go 1-0 up and we're 1-0 with 7 minutes to go, I'll be there like, come on, literally. I'll be like, behind the goal going, press, come in, doing all the instructions. Like, we've got to beat these, honestly, because I tell you what, I love it if we beat them. Love it. Wardy's on form. Teal apart for patrons. There you are. You've been spoilt. Will big goal really leave? No. It's very much a shocking situation.
I think he'll start getting international recognition now, because he represents Northern Ireland, which is really bizarre. I think he might be due a a call up. There's Wardy, look.
There we are. What a guy. What a guy. And also, he's never really had a really good season before. It's a bit like Stockton.
You on about Wardy then? I was thinking that's a bit harsh.
No, he's never had a good season. Hey, Wardy, mate. You're all right, mate. Do you see Cobblers possibly getting top half? No.
Nope.
But I kind of see in the bracket 15th area. Do you think Junior will leave in January? No, I don't. 3-3-2-2-1-1 Fleetwood at Fratton Park. I know there's always been entertainment, hasn't there? Jake, thank you so much for joining me, mate.
You haven't forgotten, have you, Ben?
Oh, yeah, a birthday shout out.
Go on. Off you try.
Yeah, I believe it's Sophie Barrett's birthday, who's a Lincoln fan.
On Friday it was, yeah.
On Friday, was it? 21. Happy birthday. And hope you had a good day. And from us at the League One and us at the T-Lop as well, we wish you a happy birthday. That's it. Happy Christmas. I was like, month too early. But we have got some good plans for Christmas, haven't we, Jake? So there should be some fun and festive fun coming your way.
Secret Santa.
Yeah, T-Lop Secret Santa, can't wait. Hopefully I get something nice this year as well. 5 and 6 of Mendes Lang, how crucial for me? Yeah, huge. I think that he said when Warren said when Mendes Lang's on it, he's one of the best players in the division. You can't stop him. So I can kind of see that. We love you, Sue. Thank you so much. Jake, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Right. Channel 72, it's going to come in it. Like, it might
do you know why? Do you know why it's going to come? Because the desk has been ordered. So I am getting that.
Now, you've got a camera. You need to sit in front of it and speak.
I do, yeah. I need to actually start figuring out what I'm going to do. But yeah, no, it is bad. The biggest thing for me to plug in, Wardy and Tom are here, so we'll plug T-Lop. That League One podcast comes out tomorrow at 5, I believe, and the great Wardiola, as we call him, has got it out on Patreon. So if you don't want to wait till tomorrow morning, if you want to watch Ben and my face and Wardy's face and Tom's face.
You don't want to watch my face this morning, mate.
Let me tell you, this man was miserable when we got up this morning. Trust me, he had a face like a slapped arse, did that man, Ben. But he's but yeah.
Rampart. Yeah, but seriously, you got to win the game.
Yeah, £4 a month. £4 a month.
Yeah.
You can join our Patreon family, and you get early access, and you do get T-Lop extras like there will be next week, I believe. So come and check us out, T-Lop. It's going pretty well, and I think we're enjoying it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please like, please subscribe. Again, we have been That League One Live. Again, and half the T-Lop, the good half, the northern half of the T-Lop as well. So I'll say myself at last minute then, didn't I? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. We'll be there on Tuesday night at Wigan. And I tell you what, I'd hate it if Wigan had scored.
I've told him to wear the Christmas jumper, Wigan fan, so he better wear it.
Jingle belly. I think we got it then, don't you?